These are the plaintiffs, Michael and Angela Ricardo. Michael says they hired the defendant to design a new kitchen for them, and the cabinets he ordered didn't arrive in the proper sizes, and the defendant refuses to do anything about it. They are now out $2,400 and are suing for exactly that amount in this court today. This is the defendant, Tab Shumway. He says he miscalculated a couple of cabinet pieces measurements because the plaintiffs never told him they had a taller than usual trim package on their refrigerator. He told the plaintiffs he would reorder the cabinet, but they got testy with him, and well, here they are. He's accused in court of being a little off.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiffs say that they hired the defendant to build them new kitchen cabinets, but says the guy screwed up the measurements and now their kitchen looks awful. The defendant says the plaintiffs didn't tell him they had a taller than normal trim package and the mismeasurements are not his fault. It's the case of you are not top drawer.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo, you're suing the defendant's company, represented here by its owner, Tab Shumway, for $2,400. You say you are out as a result of the job he did. Tell me what happened.
That's correct, Your Honor. So the main issue right now is our refrigerator. We have a 60-inch refrigerator. It's a large commercial-style kitchen. And the two cabinets above the refrigerator were too large. And the end panel for the refrigerator was not deep enough. So our refrigerator would stick out 6 inches into our kitchen. So he came out, did a site visit for that. On October 8th, I sent him the correct measurements. The issue arose when Tab did not account for the hold down in the cabinet from the ceiling for the crown molding. So when I told him I had 27.5 inches, he ordered a 27-inch cabinet. Now, with the hold down needed for the crown molding, the cabinet is now still too large. And with that reorder, he ordered the correct depth wall end panel. However, the facial profile, instead of 3/4 of an inch, it is now 1.5 inches. And now my refrigerator does not fit height-wise and width-wise.
All right, let's go backward a second. When did you send him measurements?
I believe it was July 4th, maybe. I sent him the entire appliance list as requested by him so that he could see what the sizes of the appliances were.
Did he accommodate the appliance number you sent him, or he did not?
He did not. In the first site visit, he made a comment that he should have opened that email and looked at it. And that was a verbal comment.
All right, then it doesn't fit and he's going to fix it, but then what goes wrong?
So I then took it upon myself to text him the exact measurements that I needed on October 8th.
Okay, the exact measurements that you needed of what?
Of the fridge opening.
Cabinets above the refrigerator are too big. So you tell him trim height 79. What does trim height mean?
That means I need 79 inches
to put your refrigerator in. Okay. And then you say the cabinet height is 30 inches. What are you referring to? The counter?
That was the original cabinet.
All right. Your response to that, Mr. Shumway, is, well, good. That makes the error their fault. I'm going to order them 33 inches wide each by 27 inches tall like they're supposed to be. No longer a need for the filler. Is this the last problem that we're talking about, or is this a different problem?
This is the problem because when I told him 27.5 inches, I, as a homeowner, was telling him the distance from the top of the trim to the ceiling.
Top of what trim?
Top of the refrigerator trim.
Why are you telling him anything? Why aren't you he has one job and that's to measure stuff. Why aren't you making him come out and measure correctly? Why are you sending him information that apparently turned out to be wrong? So there is something wrong about your text, which leaves us 27.5?
It still leaves us 27.5. As a kitchen cabinet provider, he failed to leave room for the crown molding.
In the end analysis, what is it that he wanted to bill you for that you don't think is fair?
What happened was My end panel, that is incorrect.
Wait, end panel. Wait a minute. We're talking about the cabinets over the fridge. So what end panels are you talking about?
It's the end panel on the end of the refrigerator as well, because with the first incorrect order, the panel was not deep enough to accommodate my refrigerator. So the new panel was deeper. However, the facial profile changed from 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches, thereby making the width of the opening smaller. So this was the face of the original panel, and it's 24 inches deep. And now with the reorder, you'll see that it's deeper than 24 and that the facial profile changes.
So your guy made the notch. Okay. That doesn't look bad.
And you can see that it's deeper now. So now it's the correct depth, but without my knowledge, the facial profile changed, which thereby made the refrigerator opening smaller. So now my refrigerator doesn't fit width-wise with trim on it.
Mr. Shumway, why don't you elucidate me and tell me what the problem is here?
So as far as the panel goes, I ordered I had to reorder the correct size, which, as you can see, I did. As to the width of it, I have no idea. I had no knowledge.
But you should know. You should have knowledge because you're ordering it and you're the cabinet guy. Why don't you have knowledge of the fact that the width changed, or that the first panel you ordered was 3/4 of an inch and the second panel you ordered was twice that size? That matters because it leaves less opening for the fridge. What about the height of the cabinets on top of the fridge?
We had had a verbal conversation, and he had alerted me back to the website and showed me that the opening with the moldings, and I can show you that as well. But on the website, it requests a 75-inch opening. So I accommodated for the 75-inch opening.
I don't know what you're saying. In that text, he tells you 79. So what were you? He didn't direct you somewhere else that conflicts with his text. I think you maybe looked somewhere else that conflicted with his text, right? Doesn't that text say 79?
The text says 79. I just assumed that was a typo on his end, because earlier that day we had talked about 75 inches.
Right, but you didn't clarify? You just assumed it was a typo instead of saying, wait? Because as it turns out, 79 is what he needed, right? Because you didn't account for the trim package he had.
I accounted for the trim package that comes with it, as you can see right here, and it calls for 75 inches.
Right, but there's another trim package, isn't there?
Well, how am I supposed to know that?
How about you're supposed to know that... Hey, you asked me a question, I'm going to answer. How about you're supposed to know that he specifically said 79 inches? Because I read the text out loud. I showed it on the screen. It says exactly 79 inches. That's how you're supposed to get an inkling that it's 79 inches he needs. And if you think it's a typo, then I guess you made a mistake. But why would you then turn around and say to him, hey, you owe me another $1,000?
Well, I'm not saying that I'm not human. I mean, I made some errors and I owned those errors.
Well, this is an error, though, that you made, because he told you 79 inches. He said that, and you have no evidence he ever told you 75. The only thing you can do is say, oh, he directed me to a website that says 75. Watch this. Mr. Ricardo, did you ever tell him to look at some website that conflicted with what your text said?
I did not. And
there's a surprise.
Says 79.
But you have one job, Mr. Shumway, because you don't build the cabinets, you order them. Your only job is to get the measurements right.
I abided by the 75 that he had stated to me.
And what did you do with the text he sent you where he specifically gave you every measurement and you said, great? What'd you do with that? Wiped your nose with it? I mean, he specifically tells you 79 inches. Ms. Ricardo, talk to me about how long this project took, how annoying it was, and I just feel like we haven't let you speak, so I really just want to hear you, because I'm sure that you have plenty to say. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're going to regret that.
Oh.
No, I'm not.
No, I mean, as far as the kitchen goes, like, that was my thing, and I wanted it to be what I wanted. And now my fridge has been completely unsecured for a year and a half.
A year and a half. So you haven't fixed the problem?
No, we can't.
Are you on a computer, on a laptop, or a desktop?
We're on an iPad.
On an iPad. Turn around and show me your kitchen.
So this is my kitchen. It's pretty. It's very pretty. But then I have my fridge that you can see is uninstalled.
Meaning it's not pushed back all the way. It's not flush.
I have a sock up here that keeps it from scratching my pantry because I have I have 5 children, so they are, they're children. So
Right.
it happens.
Put the sock back. Put the sock back. What are you doing with the sock in your hand? Put it back before one of the kids opens the fridge. All right.
And then this is obviously the issue there with how it sticks out so much.
Right. All right. Mr. Ricardo, how do you come up with your amounts?
I have an email from Tab stating that the 2 cabinets over the refrigerator cost $939.44.
Okay.
And I just estimated $500 for the wall panel.
I need a correct estimate for the panel. So do you have an actual estimate from an installer as to what that will cost?
I do not.
Okay, so then then what happens is you leave me to do that. See, you can't do that, but now you leave me to do that. So Mr. Shumway,
I grew up in
it does. Your dad's a plumber, doesn't qualify you to give me an estimate on cabinets. Mr. Shumway, what's it going to cost him to get? This is a really bad way to do this. Let me ask the defendant.
It sure is.
Mr. Shumway, what do you say it's going to cost to get an installer to come in and install the 2 cabinets and the correct panels?
All right, so I work with multiple cabinet and kitchen installers, and I got 3 estimates back. One for $375, one for $420, one for $485. Average of about $426.
That actually sounds really reasonable and correct, because I don't think anybody's going to get paid $1,000 to install 2 cabinets and the panels. All right, I am awarding a verdict in favor of the plaintiffs, Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo. The amount of that verdict is going to be the cost of the cabinets, which we do know from the text. I think your estimate's pretty reasonable for the panels, for the 2 panels on either side. And the estimate that the defendant gives us, because you give us no estimate, well, you give us an estimate, but it's kind of bloated, I think is also probably pretty accurate, for a total of $1,765.44. Verdict for the plaintiffs. Good luck.
So the plaintiffs prevailed. They're going to get just over $1,700. Mr. Shumway, let me ask you how you feel about the judge's decision.
It is what it is.
I guess the bottom line is,
I appreciate
you admit you made some mistakes, right? You made some mistakes.
Oh, sure. I'm human.
Has caused them to have this problem going on for a long time now.
I'm human.
A long time, right? You're human.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're human, and it cost you some money. Sorry about that. That's the way it works out today.
It is what it is.
$1,700.
That's business.
It is what it is right. Okay. Mr. and Ms. Ricardo, maybe now you can get this finished and get your kitchen in tip-top shape. How about that?
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice to have a little bit of money. I'm not overly satisfied. I feel like going off an estimate from 2019 that these cabinets are going to cost me a lot more than the $940 quoted almost 2 years ago. But it'll take care of most of the project, and we'll be able to finish our house.
Good luck to you, and I hope you get your kitchen back together soon and are happy with it. Beautiful kitchen. It'll be even better when it's done.
Doug, there was an old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Video is worth 2,000 words, because that's why the plaintiffs won.
I borrowed my friend's car, and I got a ticket for driving with a burned-out headlight. The ticket's in my name, but it's not fair. I'm pretty sure he knew the headlight was burned out in the first place. Shouldn't he have to pay for this?
Well, the ticket goes to the driver. So
Right.
vis-a-vis the police and the government and the clerk's office, you're the guy who has to pay the ticket because you were driving a car with faulty equipment. Now, when you borrow a car, maintenance of the car is not something you've undertaken to do.
No.
So I think that he could sue the friend who loaned him the car.
Yeah.
And I mean, hopefully they'll be able to work it out and he won't sue him. But,
You would think.
but I'm saying if I'm responsible for the maintenance and
Right.
something went wrong with the maintenance,
Right.
that's ultimately on me. And I wouldn't leave you stuck with the ticket.
Right.
I'm not sure that you would have to prove that I knew that the light was out. Like, I mean, it's just factual because I'm the guy who's responsible for the maintenance.
Yeah, right. Of course, there could still be consequences with your insurance company if they.
Yeah, because it's still in your
even for a
name.
Mickey Mouse ticket like that. Who knows? Maybe if they get wind of it, they may say, that's too bad. It's your ticket.
It's your ticket and your rates could go up. So
But
it's messy.
That'll do it for this session of the People's Court. See you next time.